Let's now talk about feminism and critical discourse analysis. Apparently, they may appear to be two different disciplines, but we can see that various thoughts which are an integral part of feminist discourses can be analyzed critically from the perspective of critical discourse analysis. In the beginning, I'll introduce you to feminist critical discourse analysis, which is a kind of proof of the possibility of analyzing gender discourses from a feminist or critical discourse analysis perspective. In such studies, the theories about feminism and critical discourse analysis may be merged, may work together to produce a better product for the understanding of common readers. Critical discourse analysis, as we know, it works as a movement to create some critical social awareness and consciousness about various discursive dimensions of social problems. And these problems may involve the elements of discrimination, exploitation, dominance, a disadvantage of certain groups at the cost of others. And it also aims to contribute to some emancipatory or positive projects based on creating better understanding among people so that they can live in a healthy and better world. With the same purpose, we have various studies in serious scholarship which work on gender-based inequalities and have resulted with some interesting findings for us. Belonging to the family of CDS scholarship, we can see that studies have a focus on gender, which shares some main tenets of CDA. They look from gender, they look on gender or into gender inequalities from a socially critical perspective, which is obviously to many readers of critical discourse analysis is a domain of CDA. Feminist critical discourse analysis, to be very precise, looks into or investigates the complex and diverse ways by which gender ideologies that are embedded with power, that include or involve power, become common sense. By that we mean which justify various ways of gender perceptions, and those perceptions may cause some kind of gender inequality. But how discourses are generated, produced, and reproduced to normalize those discourses in a society, these are one of the very important domains, and maybe the most important domain of feminist critical discourse analysis so far. And then it looks on social justice and transformation. The objective of feminist critical discourse analysis is to demystify and challenge all these perceptions which create divide between men and women based on their gender, or that encourage gendered social orders in various ways, which harm and foreclose socially progressive possibilities for certain individuals or groups in society who may belong to a certain gender community. And the term feminism or feminist in feminist critical discourse analysis is focusing on gender as an object of critical discourse research, and it is driven as much as by current feminist epistemology and practice as it is by critical discourse analysis practices. So, in other words, feminist critical discourse analysis inherits historically its critical impetus from Frankfurt School in critical discourse analysis, and simultaneously it also is greatly indebted to contemporary developments in critical feminist thought or critical feminist rights movements in the world, all across the world. The latter involves the building on foundational feminist work of criticizing structural inequalities which deprive women from certain entries into mainstream societies or mainstream spheres of influence in a society. It also develops some contextualized understanding of gender politics, in which may arise from feminist current uptake of post-structural, transnational, queer, post-colonial, and intersectional theories. And it relies while relying heavily on these theories, it looks into various contextual understandings and misunderstandings of gender politics. Further, feminist critical discourse analysis also shares the view that individuals negotiate between multiple social identities in any given context, in which one important identity is their gender identity. So that is negotiated. So social categories of men and women, far from being universal, are fixed, binary, uh, far from being universal, fixed, or binary. They are diverse, changing, and plural. They may change. They as opposed to traditional thoughts that they are fixed and they are binary. There may be other views. They may be dynamic and changing with the passage of time, with the passage of context, or with the passage of with the change of situation. The interest of feminist critical discourse analysis lies in how gender and ideology and gendered relations of power get reproduced, negotiated, and contested in representation of social practices. In social practices in which social relations are negotiated and reproduced. So, how the power between various genders is negotiated, in simple words, is an important aspect of contemporary feminist critical discourse analysis.